I was a first-generation college student. My parents did not attend college. My grandparents did not attend college. As a matter of fact, most of the people in my extended family didn't even graduate from high school. If they did graduate from high school, most of them decided to go to work, get married, go to work and get married. And so I was one of the very first people in my extended family to go to college.
I just wanted to further my education, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know where I wanted to go. My parents didn't go to college, but they really strongly encouraged it. But I'm the youngest of 7, and my oldest sister is 20 years older than me. And she had went to Mississippi State, and she started off at a community college. And so I thought I would take that same path. But I had no idea what major, what I wanted to do. I just knew that I wanted to go to college.
My mom and my dad had never gone to college before. My mom was a bookkeeper, my dad was a produce manager, and they gave me the option to go to college, but they encouraged me to do so. My mom especially said, "You never know what the future is going to hold, so I would like to see you get some type of college foundation."
I decided to go to college because I knew that it would just bring a better life for my family, and just better success for me, and just have the accomplishment of knowing that I had a college degree.
I had a conversation with my mother at one point, and she told me that I needed to get my education. She told me to look at our environment, and she told me she wanted me to do better. And from that point on, I knew that I had to go to college.
College was sincerely for me a survival tool. Just growing up from a single parent home with me and my sisters, I used education and college as a way to create a better life for me and my family.
Well, going to college for me was a very eye-opening experience. I went to a small liberal arts college. I was a decent to pretty good high school student, but going into college, I kind of found my people, and I was able to study lots of different things at a liberal arts college. The emphasis is on the wide aspects of your education. So even though I was a science major, I majored in biology, minored in chemistry, I had classes in music appreciation, music literature, economics, business, several different types of social science classes, psychology, logic, which was very helpful when I took graduate tests. I had several different types of history classes. So I felt like I got a really wide range of experiences. It was a small school, so I got to be involved in activities like the choir, student government, and different types of social settings that helped make me a more well-rounded person.
College helped me shape my future by making me a better woman, a better person to serve my community, to help my fellow peers, and to help the generation in the years to come.
There's a song that will come to mind, "Because He Lives," and it goes on and says, "Because He lives, I can face tomorrow." And a lot of times I drew strength from that. And I most definitely know that I was able to make it through because of God's grace and mercy. And I'm so grateful that He gave me the strength and the know-how to make it through school. So I'm most definitely grateful for His blessings.
I had a pastor who not only was he influential in teaching me the Word, he also stressed that once you educate yourself, no one ever could take that away from you. And I just look back over my life now, I don't know what I'd be doing if I didn't go to school. I can't think of one thing that I could possibly be doing. I chose social work and case management, And I've always wanted to work in the school environment, and I don't think I would have learned the skills and techniques that I, use today if I didn't go to college.
I will go back to what my mom told me. Having that foundation opens a lot of doors, and it increases your self-esteem, makes you feel like you've accomplished something. And even if you go to college for a particular program or a particular field, and you decide to change courses or something else comes up that you want, you have a foundation on which to build. And when you're out in the job market, especially, a degree, does help when it's on a resume, because it shows you finished something, that you started something and you finished it.
I can honestly say I would not be sitting here today if it was not for me going to get an education. Going to college opened so many doors for me with networking, obtaining a job. I actually graduated from Jackson State in 2017, and I got a job at Meridian Head Start Center where I was the teacher assistant, and you had to have a bachelor's degree, so that, education in itself opened that door for me. And also when I became the recruiting coordinator here at Meridian Community College, you had to have a bachelor's degree, so that opened doors. And I'm now the director of admissions.
A memory that stands out for me being in college was actually finding out that my parents did not have a high school diploma. And I knew the sacrifices that they made for me and my sister and brother. They worked very hard to ensure that we knew the importance of having an education. And the most thing that stood out was after my father had passed, I graduated a year later, and a year later after I graduated, my mother decided to go back to school to get her high school diploma.
Meeting an advisor or a program coordinator who really let me know what social work was about. I had gotten to a point where I was just going to school and just trying to graduate and get a degree. I wasn't really focused. And so she pulled me in her office and said, why are you here? And I said, well, to get a degree, not even really trying to be smart. I mean, that's just really what I was trying to do. And then she said, no, why are you really here? And I said, well, I like social work. This is a journey that I like. And she said, do you know what social work is? And I gave her, just working with people, literally just working with people. And she said, well, no, it's a generalist degree. It's a degree that will allow you not just to work with people, but understand people. You can work in social work in many different areas, and she broke it down to me. And from that moment on, I don't think I made less than a B.
With my students, I try to tell them my story, or part of my story from time to time. And part of my story is this. Going to school, like I said, my mother told me to go to school, but, we didn't, it's not like they had money set aside for it. It's not like they had a bunch of other stuff prepared for me to go to school. Oftentimes, and I would like to thank MCC for the guaranteed tuition, because that most definitely was a blessing to me. But as far as like trying to get to school, it was very challenging. I could bum a ride every once in a while, but for the most part, I did a lot of walking. I rode a bike for a long time. If anybody a number of years back seen a bike locked up all over campus, it probably was mine. And so I tell my students that to let them know I understand that everybody has a story, everybody has obstacles, but I had a goal in mind, and I wanted to accomplish that goal, and just however I had to whatever I had to do to accomplish that goal.
My mother was not able to go to college. She had a scholarship to go to Morehead State University, but knew that she could not afford all the other things that go along with college, like books and other types of fees. So my mother decided that since she couldn't go to college, that her children were going to go to college. My mom sacrificed. She worked long hours. She worked extra jobs to be able to be sure that my brother and I could go to college and have that experience that she didn't.
I can remember applying to college and getting accepted and so excited that I was going to the Jackson State University. And I got there, I got my class schedule. I went to class literally like for a week. I did my financial aid, all that good stuff, and I was sitting in class. And I remember one specific professor at that time, Miss Adams Johnson. And so after class, Miss Johnson called a few names on the list, and she was like, hey, I need to see y'all after class. And everybody else that attended the class, they walked out, and the few people she called stayed in class. And she literally looked at us and said, hey, y'all need to go see financial aid, because if you don't have your money together, you're going to be removed from my class. So that was that. And I remember going to financial aid. I had no concept of that I needed to have X amount of funds to pay for school. I literally thought that all you had to do is fill out the FAFSA and I was going to be fine. So, and of course I went to financial aid, and I ended up, I think, applying for work study and getting that. And I think I took out a student loan, and so I was covered, thank the Lord. And every year after that, I made sure to go buy financial aid.
Well, I have two. First of all, I was scared to death to take college algebra. God sent Ray Davis to be the college algebra instructor that year, thank goodness. And so I was scared to death to take college algebra. But I prayed, I cried, I went to Miss Ray Davis for help. She encouraged me, and I worked really hard to learn and try to understand what she was teaching. And so not only did I pass the class, I came out of it with an A. So it truly was memorable for me, because it showed me that I could do it. As my mom always said, you can do anything you put your mind to. So that was a good memory. And the other memory is whenever I found my wings at MCC and I went to MSU Meridian to start taking education classes. When I finished my education degree and graduation fell on Mother's Day, and I was able to walk across the stage as a Mississippi State University graduate with an education degree with honors on Mother's Day. That was an awesome memory, and I will forever be thankful for that.